Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto and NFTs every day. This channel will also be heavily covering the FTX Sam Bankman-Fried trial because we're currently in a crypto bear market and you have to capitalize on the grift. But what's even more hilarious is probably this tweet here from my dear friend, Tiffany Fong. Caroline Ellison just testified that Thai prostitutes were involved in an attempt to regain access to $1 billion of Alameda funds frozen by the Chinese government. Yes, I read that correctly. And yes, you heard that correctly. If you're not already following Tiffany, go do so. She is currently covering the event live and tweeting absolutely excellent information like this. But this is the current state of America. And what drives me absolutely wild, we're in a recession, we're experiencing high levels of inflation. In order to purchase a home in the United States of America, which inventory is so low because nobody's selling or buying anything because nobody can afford it, it's like 42% of your income, okay? 42% of somebody's income. I believe back 50 years ago, it was like 20% of your income, 15%. I don't even know, lower numbers like that. But we're just so concerned with the most ridiculous things ever. And that's the type of content we like to consume. However, on the O Show, we do a little bit of both. We like to make fun of life because life is a big joke. And we also do like to bring you very, very non-biased information because it's important to take a look at both sides. A lot of people are unable to look at both sides. They're unable to see somebody else's perspective. Reason being is a lot of times we get very stubborn in our own perspective and our own reality, which again, a reality is just something that's made up by that particular person, okay? Or by a society. And we kind of forget to, look at somebody else's perspective. And my good friend Joe, who passed away years and years ago, probably about 20 years ago, that was one of the quotes they had at his funeral was something along the lines of understand somebody's perspective, give other people time. Why? Well, you could actually learn something. We're able to learn, as humans, we're able to learn when we remove the self out of us. When we remove the self out of us and we place it kind of on the back burner, because with the self comes the ego, at least in my personal opinion. So when we're able to do that, we're able to look at situations a little bit more clearly. And again, that's something I also learned working in healthcare and kind of how I grew up, those types of things. So we're going to bring you a lot of very entertaining information. You can always find entertaining information on the O Show because I'm an absolute hot mess. But at the same time, I am very much a strong personality and I will always advocate for the little guy, the underdogs. But again, I'm also here to grift as ethically as possible because it is 2023 and why not? And I also want to encourage all of you to grift as ethically as possible. Why? Well, you deserve a better quality of life. And that's part of the reason why we started this channel. To talk to people about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and all of these other different mechanisms that we can use to essentially remove ourselves from the third party and hedge. You're never going to be able to fully remove yourself from predatory third parties or from society or from societal norms. However, what you can do is you can essentially use these tools, Bitcoin, crypto, NFTs, whatever that may be to you, and use it as a hedge to kind of just say, and think for yourself. And to grift as ethically as possible, because again, all the rich people in the world, that's what they've done. They use the current tax loopholes and the laws to make as much money as possible and to pay the least amount. So we want to advocate for that too. Do it ethically, but also more importantly, do it within the constraints of the law, just like they do. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get straight into the news because why not? I was also told if you wear bright colors by my good friend Dennis, who also passed away, that it helps you not be happier and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to be wearing some bright colors on the show, but I want to take a moment to give a shout out to my chat, to all of the amazing people in here. We have 106 of you beautiful people, but only 29 likes. And I hate telling you guys to smash a like. I absolutely hate it. Just do it. Do it. Good morning to Brian, to Mike, to Kenny, to Roland, to Lil D, to Blue Hawk, Casey, John. We love John, SK, all you amazing people. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and we can't stream on TikTok right now. We got a little bit of punishment over there, which is fine. It happens. I'm a naughty girl because I say and I do what I want to do. which is another reason I'm very proud to be an American. What does that mean? Well, a lot of women in America say that they're oppressed. And I can understand that because I've been in situations where I've been treated differently because I have been a woman, and I've experienced things that happen to females more than they do happen to men statistically. But at the same time, nothing in life is perfect, okay? Nothing is ever going to be perfect. It's never going to be fair. It's really more so on your outlook of things, okay? So with that being said, women in America have a lot more freedoms than we do in other areas of the world. And some of you know these areas of the world that I'm discussing. If you go back and look at pictures of women in certain places in the 70s or prior to the 70s or 60s or whatever that is, places evolve and they change when new leadership takes over. And it's always very interesting to me to see a bunch of citizen journalists. And again, I'm a citizen journalist too, because I take information that I read, that I research, etc., and I relay that to you. However, the difference between me and most other citizen journalists is that I actually want you guys to fact check me. I want you guys to critically think, and I want to push you all to use your minds that your higher power, whomever gave to you. Okay. And with that being said, a lot of these people are still living at home in mommy and daddy's basement, and they never left America. Heck, they've never even left the suburbs. Heck, they've never been to a poor part of town, and they have no idea what life is like. So I just think it's very important not only to, to read and to educate and to travel, safe places, obviously, but also to really take the ego out and take the self out. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and grift, because we love the grift over here. Also, too, Hotep and I are having a podcast today, the Black and White podcast. I can't say what title it is on the show because people will get offended, but it's actually pretty funny. I'm considering on my father's side, they're Jewish. And the funny thing about that is I will talk about that later. But anyways, I digress. We're going to get straight into the news because why not? So this is the tweet from Miss Tiffany over here. This is the tweet from Miss Tiffany. I want you guys to go follow her. But again, Caroline Ellison just testified that Thai prostitutes were involved in an attempt to regain access to 1 billion of Alameda funds frozen by the Chinese government. What? And this is very, 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 very much what was said in court. So great. Now that we've had our laugh for the day, let's get serious. This is the current crypto market cap here. Everything is down. Well, guess who told you everything was down? Yes, your mom did. We told you. So this is going to be the Bitcoin chart. I told you. And if you shorted yesterday and you made some money with my Phemex ref link, I'm very happy for you. I'm absolutely happy for you because I told you we are going to be teeter-tottering in this area here. Why are we going to be teeter-tottering in this area here? Because we're experiencing market volatility. What is market volatility? Market volatility is when number goes up and down very, very rapidly. Also, too, Gary Wang from, where is he from? Gary Wang from FTX. When the courts asked him when he was under, I think it's testimony or whatever it is. I don't even know. But they asked him if he knew what solvency was, and he said no. The funny thing about that is I've been called an idiot on the internet for a very, very long time, especially crypto Twitter. But being the biggest idiot in the world, according to them, I know what solvency is. Solvency is when you have capital, when you have access to things, when you have, you got a big pot and there's kind of liquidity, there's stuff in there. So when you're solvent, you have money. When you're not solvent, you don't have money. See, that's hard. We can even Google it up. I got Google at my fingertips, and I actually do use Google. I actually like to reread definitions and understand the meaning of them, and you should do that too. Because sometimes at a different age, it gives us a different perspective. I digress. We have the Phemex ref link in the chat. Thank you so much, Phemex, for partnering with us. If you want to support me in the channel, you can go ahead and sign up with that. If you don't want to, shout out to Seattle, Caffeinated Crypto. I know we should have stopped by and saw you. I should have done a meetup there, but I just didn't have a time to do it because that's life. I had a date with the Music Man to go talk about some Music Men things. But with that being said, this is what we're seeing right now with Bitcoin. Okay. We actually broke down below the EMA 200. And if you zoom in really, really quick, you're going to see the EMA 50 have this downward tick here. That generally indicates some more volatility and some more downward movement. So if you're shorting this, be cautious. I would watch for about, 26.4 here to see what happens. Because if we break down this level, we could have a swing look low to about 26. And then we've got another area here at about 24.8. And then this ultimate swing wick low at about 23.6. If we do break down below that, it's going to get very, very nasty. Market cipher is bearish. MACD is bearish again. MACD is lagging indicator. 4-hour chart shows that we essentially found a local bottom here. I would just be a little bit cautious though. Little bit cautious. And now when we take a look at the 45-minute chart, let's go ahead and zoom up and see. It looks like we're still going to continue to head downward. So maybe we'll stop here at about 26.4, which makes sense. Who knows? And we might pop back up because when you take a look at the I want to actually take a look at the daily, or excuse me, the 12-hour. We're still going. So I don't know. Be cautious there. If you want to short the market, you probably missed your opportunity. With that being said, when it does come to Phemex, you do any crypto asset exchange, I don't care what it is, you want to make sure. You want to absolutely make sure that you read the terms of service, that you understand not your keys, not your coins, and that you also understand you shouldn't leave crypto assets there. But again, you can do what you want to do. That is your business. That is my business. And while we're on the topic of Phemex, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the cool things they have. Right now, Phemex is hosting a 1,000 BTC challenge, and it is now live. All PSP holders get 2 votes to predict the Bitcoin price for October 31st and the opportunity to win up to 1,000 Bitcoin. And if you're interested in doing that, you can go ahead and use my ref link. And they also say if you like and retweet, you can get a chance for more. They also also, if you guys have not minted your Phemex Soul Pass, please go ahead and do so. Go ahead and do so. Why do you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to do it? Why wouldn't you want to mint something for free? They're going to give different perks and different access to things. You're also possibly going to get an airdrop of their new PT token. And if you use my link, you can go ahead and trade, mint your NFT, all of that jazz. Again, it is free to do so. Why not take advantage of free things in a bear market? Now, with that being said, let's get into the meat and the bones. All right, let's go ahead and start covering what happened with FTX. So, start witness Caroline Ellison says Bankman-Fried directed her to commit fraud. Well, she was just an innocent damsel in distress, right? Right? Potentially. I don't think she was. I think she kind of knew what was going on, but at the same time, I think that she was just this little white collar suburb girl and it's just ridiculous. And she was in love with him. She probably did what he was telling her to do, and he could just care less. But anyways, let's talk about some key points from her testimony on day 1. And again, these are our taxpayer dollars hard at work because the SEC and other public servants could not figure out how to integrate crypto laws into regulation. And if you intelligent, beautiful people watched my video yesterday, also too, make sure to like and share this video. Like it, smash a like. Let's get up to like 6,900 likes. But if you watched the video yesterday, we're probably not going to get crypto regulation to at least 2025. Why? Because we've got all this stuff going on. We got all these conflicts. We got the speaker problems. We got the inflation. We got the debt. Crypto regulation is the least of their worries. However, we're going to have to implement a CBDC, but the banks seem to be doing a great job for us, which we'll talk about in a minute. But let's go ahead and read the key facts here. The key points from her testimony in day 1. Caroline Ellison, former girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried, they were doing this. They were bumping uglies together. She said that testified that SBF directed her to commit fraud. She said SBF asked her to create balance sheets that made Alameda's balance sheets look less risky to investors like Genesis. Well, that's actually a good thing. With this being said, if in fact Sam lied and kind of pushed her to make the balance sheets look less risky to Genesis, which again, I believe Genesis was a company that was custodying funds for Gemini Earn, this could actually be good for Gemini Earn customers. Also understand there's a direct link to Celsius and to Voyager and Three Arrows Capital, all these other crypto companies, to FTX Alameda. We're going to get a little bit juicy when it comes to Alameda, so stay tuned for that. He suggested that Alameda could put employees' personal serum tokens on its balance sheet and take other measures to inflate the firm's assets. I wonder where he learned that practice from. I believe one of his parents were CPAs. I believe his mom, not 100% sure, but congratulations and good on using that QuickBook for a multi-billion-dollar company. They were worried that the new balance sheets would still scare Genesis, so created more using other strategies, basically giving fake numbers. And unless you're using blockchain analytics, it kind of is hard to verify that. I would imagine so. But again, because FTX was forced to go overseas, offshore to create their company, there was no checks and balances in the United States of America. Why? They probably couldn't get licensed or regulated here. Why? Well, in fact, because you can't do anything related to crypto in the United States of America. It's very hard to do things, especially now. So the only people that we can really continue to blame for this, or blame a big portion of, are the folks over in Washington. She also said Alameda had taken funds from FTX to make it its own investments. She had no equity in Alameda despite asking for it. But she did receive a $20 million bonus on top of a $200,000 salary in 2021. This is great. I wish that I could work for a company. She sounds like a public servant. I wonder where they came up with these numbers. Public servants make approximately $200,000 and getting a $20 million bonus. Wow. Anyways, this is from Miss Eleanor. It says Caroline Ellison admits to being paid $20 million bonus on top of a salary of $200,000 in 2021. And then down over here, this is from Inner City Press. You should go ahead and follow them. And this is about the courts asking Caroline, why did you guys break up? He wasn't spending much time with me. Was it a secret? At first, then he told me I could say we were living together, but no more. And then they asked about the salary. So it kind of sounds like he treated her absolutely horrible. And I kind of don't blame her for ratting him out and taking a deal. Why would she want to do something and stand by somebody who is absolutely horrible to them? Me personally, I probably wouldn't rat anybody out, even though there's things happening, which I can't say for legal reasons. But with that being said, I guess it goes to show you treat people the way that you want to be treated. And he didn't treat her nicely. So it's kind of like karma to him. Unfortunately, they're both a bunch of a-holes. Unfortunately, they harmed customers. They stole money. They caused a lot of problems globally when it comes to crypto because a lot of faith in the industry has been shattered. But here we are. So we do have to move forward and continue to talk about this. Let's go ahead and get into the next piece of information over here. Ellison, I withdrew $10 million for an investment in a startup, $100,000 for a loan to my parents, and $2 million for my own donor advised fund. Did you have equity in Alameda? No, and 0.5% of FTX. Yikes. So people are gossiping that the investment she made was in Anthropic, which was the AI company that is now valued between $20 and $30 billion today. And since she had invested in it, if that was a company, the investment amount has increased, or the amount of money that investment is worth is significant, and they're going to be clawing that back. They're going to be asking for that back. But it's going to be interesting to see if the courts are going to ask for the current valuation or the previous valuation, because when we're talking about clawbacks, it's generally the amount of the date that the company filed for bankruptcy, but I'm not sure how this particular situation will work. But again, we covered this and we talked about it for you beautiful, intelligent people. Now let's go ahead and read the next one. She also spoke about Alameda's borrowing FTX customer funds. SBF said to use FTX funds, but to keep money on FTX to meet withdrawal requests. Most of the money went to loans for SBF's inner circle, investments, and political donations. SBF thought the strategy was highly effective, offering very high returns in terms of political influence. By June of 2022, Alameda had borrowed 77% of the $13 billion of customer dollar deposits into FTX. And then, of course, Ellison also testified that SBF wanted to become president of the United States of America, which makes sense. I don't know if that was his idea or his parents' idea. I think that it was equally him and his parents. I do. I don't feel bad for him. This is just a joke. It's a joke. It's an embarrassment to our industry, and it's just a big S show. And we have 172 of you beautiful people. We need at least 169 likes, and we need to keep it going. Need to keep it going. Broke up because it was too ugly. Well, I don't want to talk about her looks. I don't like that. See, I don't like to talk about a women's looks to pit them against each other. I think we could just talk about how stupid they are. I think that's more better, because can you imagine being so stupid and gullible and privileged and just not understanding? And this is why people with street smarts and people that grew up in poverty, we generally can navigate things just a teeny tiny bit better. I digress. Let's go ahead and get into the next topic, because there's all kinds of fun stuff happening. Okay. SBF's lawyers want to ask Caroline Ellison about FTX, Anthropic, AI stake. So let's go ahead and cover this. Am I on the right screen? Yes, we are. So shortly after Ellison's first day of testimony ended, SBF's defense made a set of motions requesting the courts to address other issues. The first filing, they want to question her about the extent to which she depended on legal counsel to make certain decisions while CEO of Alameda, as well as the valuation of FTX stake in Anthropic. They want to know what role lawyers might have played in setting policies such as advocating auto-delete on Signal. Second filing, SBF's team argued that the Anthropic news relates important context about FTX expected value analysis. They should be able to ask broader questions about FTX's portfolio. Ellison is also a personal investor in Anthropic. There you go. So we don't know if she took that money. I don't think we know exactly how much she invested, but it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to get some of that money back, because that's quite a bit of money. The Anthropic is valued at 20 to $30 billion. So I'm curious to see how they're going to claw that back. So quick Anthropic recap. Prosecutors want to block SBF's team from discussing FTX customer asset recovery linked to his Anthropic investment during the trial. He invested $500 million in 2022. Wow. I think hers was 10 million, if that's what it is, but he invested 500 million. Can you imagine what that is? Prosecutors claim it was funded with customer funds. Prosecutors said that recent reports focus on the potentially high valuation in Anthropic would increase the value of SBF's investment. The thing about that is, though, you guys, it really depends on the bankruptcy courts, because that's going to play a major role in it too. So basically, bankruptcy courts and this court, they're just going to have a bunch of big pissing contests to see who can get more money back or do whatever, and just going to cost and waste people's money. But I digress. I digress. Make sure to smash a like and share this. Now let's go ahead and talk about day 2 of SBF trial, because Caroline is on the stand. And look at her. Look at this lady over here. I don't like her dress, but good for her. But I hope she gets a glow up. I hope she glows up and she gets some big fake knockers. I hope she does. Why not? I'm going to get some big fake knockers too. All right, Ellison on the stand again today. Here's what we know so far. Judge denied multiple requests to let SBS lawyers raise the lack of crypto regulations, like recoveries from FTX bankruptcy and his donations to charity. Well, they're saying, and this is really sad. This is probably the most upsetting part over here. The fact that we can't use the defense that there's a lack of crypto regulations to kind of defend ourselves is ridiculous. Could Sam have used that? He should be able to, unfortunately. I know that's not something that people want to hear, but he should be able to use that because there was no regulations put in place. And I hope just because he made bad choices, it let some of us other people, especially the developers and the builders, people actually doing good stuff in the space, to use that defense. However, the only difference between SBF and a lot of these other companies is the sheer fact that SBF was able to meet directly with Gary Gensler, and Gary Gensler signed off on stuff. So I don't know. Gary Gensler should be kind of getting in trouble too, right? Probably not, because of all the political donations Sam made to Sam and his family made to these a-holes. All right, let's get into it. There's a lot of information we're going to, my beautifuls. Beautiful. Oh, my daughter's on a field trip today, so I'm taking pictures from the thing. All right, this one's not my kid, so I don't care, but they're cute. I'm obsessed with my daughter, if you guys don't know. All right. A judge said that the point that exchanges are not regulated like securities trading venues is irrelevant and will confuse the jury. I don't know, Judge. I kind of disagree with you on that. And again, wouldn't this have been good if they would have came up with some sort of crypto regulations prior? They could and they should have, but they didn't, because they're lazy and because they hate you and they want you to stay poor and they just want to oppress you. May 2022, the Luna crash, which led to the market crash, caused some of Alameda's creditors to call back loans they made to them. Genesis asked Alameda to pay back $500 million. Celsius also asked for its loans to be repaid. She knew they would have to take the money from FTX line of credit, and that money could be called in at any time. She said that money was coming from FTX customers who could try to withdraw at any time. She said she was worried that Alameda's reliance on customer funds could lead to a catastrophe for both firms. However, she continued to pay back lenders via Alameda's FTX credit customer funds. SBF told her to do it, and he also told her that lying and stealing money were allowed in his worldview. FTX considered raising capital from Saudi Arabia's prince and prime minister, and due to the trouble they were in after the biggest lenders recalled their loans, SBF was considering selling FTX shares to the prince and prime minister to raise more money, pay back Alameda lenders. We're going to be covering this a lot more tomorrow, you guys, but that's basically the gist of what happened. Today, we're going to be talking about some more information that's come out, more things that are happening. But yikes on yikes. Gamer said, I will be watching like this after the knockers. Yeah, you got to get the knockers. But can you, wow. These crazy kids, they were just so young and crazy, and they just made some mistakes. They're good kids. That's what every enabling parent says about their addict kids. That's what they do. And I've seen this play out so many different times. And again, my daughter's spoiled. And she respects her dad a lot more than she respects me because she fears him. Well, she doesn't even really fear him. But it's because I hold her accountable. And that's interesting, the parent dynamic there, because if you're not holding your kids accountable, if you're somebody who does the gentle parenting thing, that's fine, but you still need to hold your kid accountable. You can tell these two a-holes were never held accountable for anything in their life. And this is why I'm so sick of people that come from privilege. And again, when we talk about privilege, there's rich people in all different cultures and races, backgrounds, walks of life. My problem is to see people from privilege that have not had to work at McDonald's. Like, I personally believe if you want to be a public servant, you should have to work a customer service job, or you should have to actually work in that industry that you're creating bills and laws for. And I also believe that to graduate high school or to graduate college, you need to have a crappy customer service job, like business school. The college that I went to, there was a Starbucks every damn place there, a Carl's Jr. or Wendy's, whatever. There's all this fast food there. If you're going to graduate from business school, you should have the students for one semester run that business and see if they can keep it up. We need real world experience. We need people with these high paying jobs or with these big positions to have real world experience, because look at what's happening. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets a lollipop. Everybody gets a sucker. Everybody in America. And look at this. Look at this. This is embarrassing. And I will be damned if my child grows up to be an a-hole. I will be damned. Not happening here. Not happening. But with that being said, your choice to do whatever it is you want to do, and we do not want the government in our homes. However, raise your kids upright and teach them morals, teach them ethics, and teach them the difference between decency and respect. Smash a like. Let's grift harder. Keep it grifting. We need at least 169 likes. Very rich kids, but they got caught. They got caught because they did a lot of stupid stuff, and their parents didn't have their thumbs up their butts for that long. They needed to do that a little bit more. Also, too, a lot of the public servants are to blame because they all accepted donation and bribes from SBF and FTX. And in addition to that, Sam met with Gary Gensler quite a few times. So again, yeah, they're going to be covering a lot of stuff up with this, a lot. And mainstream media, and people don't care. I posted a video about this on TikTok. No one could care less. All right. From Frank from the block. This is one as well. SBF had a tweet thread prepared for a possible Alameda shutdown in September of 2022. We saw research. That's how Sam Bankman-Fried planned to announce to the world the closure of Alameda Research. According to a draft tweet thread he wrote in September 22, revealed as part of evidence gained his ongoing fraud trial. A little bit more context here. Let's go. We're going to go through and read what the draft was going to say. It says, Alameda was a huge part of my life. It was one of my largest successes and then briefly largest failures and then again successes. He considered shutting Alameda 2 months before FTX collapsed, and they are discussing this in the thread. He laid out the reasons for wanting to shut down Alameda. One of them was the firm did not warrant the cost of the capital. He described it as really expensive in the current economic environment. He said Alameda was not generating enough profits to validate its continued existence. Side note, the CFTC included in the draft in December 22 complaint further details as to whether Alameda should be shut down permanently. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about shutting Alameda down. We're going to do that a little bit, okay? I'm going to do that a little bit. But with that being said, I want to explain something to you. Alameda and FTX, they were essentially both printing money. They were trading with each other. There was no stop losses. There was no liquidation price. And the fact that you lost this much money by printing money, they're basically like FTX was literally run like the United States government. That's a good tweet. FTX was printing money out. They were just borrowing all this kind of stuff. And the fact that this was happening is just atrocious. It really, really is. But, go overseas, create companies there, because in America, you can't even create a company here and there's no checks and balances to check you anyways because our public servants don't care. But what do I know? I'm just a moron on the internet. Let's talk a little bit more about shutting down Alameda. So when SBF found out there was no more money left to steal, he decided to shut down Alameda and threw Carolina under the bus. He said current leadership is good, but not good enough to trust with such a big operation. The fact we didn't hedge as much as we should cost us more money, and all the Alameda has ever made will make. This is the kind of mistake we're likely to make if I'm not actually around running the show. He suggested they use another ex-girlfriend's fund, Modelo Capital. He had been funding Modelo the whole time. He was majority owner. So again, Sam had his hands in everything. And he was just mean. He was absolutely mean to Caroline. I understand why she's ratting on him. I don't judge her. I don't blame her for it. Sucks, but is what it is. Be nice to your spouses. Be nice to your people. It's just a lot of information, you guys. Wow. And we have a poll at the top too. We've got a poll at the top. Oops, what is going on over here? Poll at the top. I would love you guys to chime in there. Making something out of nothing. No, this is actually a really big deal. This is a really, really big deal. Did you guys buy FTT recently? 83% said no. I'm glad that the O show is not comprised of morons. Thank you guys for being so awesome. We said 6% said yes, and I'm going to make Asian Fusion tomorrow. That's what I make. Shout out to the professional nomad for the $1.99 super chat. You have bought me half of something from the dollar store because nothing is no longer a dollar anymore because of the high cost of inflation. All right, let's get into the next titty bit over here. The next tittle bit. All right, next tittle bit. Okay. All right, so when we ask about where is Sam Trabucco, and big shout out to Jago, Jagoe Capital. Nice guy. I am following him. Why am I not I'm following him. How dare they say I'm not following him? I have been. He posts good stuff. Anyways, so my buddy Dev Chart posted this. Following the SBF trial with Caroline as a witness, and I kept, we keep saying, where's Sam Trabucco? And I said he may have been a plant. So Jago says he was in with the New York Times before FTX. Looks like FTX official Alameda may have had great connection in New York Times. Co-founder of Alameda Trabucco, was writing crossword puzzles for New York Times since 2017, according to Facebook. So this is going to be the information over here. He was posting on Twitter about it. I wrote tomorrow, Sunday, New York Times Magazine password, blah, 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 blah. This over here, he was... crossword puzzle. And what else? So there's further, just goes to prove his connection there. And just because he wrote a crossword puzzle and some people are like, oh, this is insignificant. No, he has got connections over there. He totally does. All right. Now let's see. Are we done talking about FTX? I am done. All right. Let's talk about this. This is an interesting story here. So FTX, the owner of crypto exchange bitfinex, is planning a 150 million share buyback plan. According to Bloomberg, in 2016, bitfinex was hacked and approximately 71 million Bitcoin is stolen. Bitfinex provided the company shares as compensation, and that's exactly what Celsius wants to do. I just think that Celsius is going to end up failing, and the amount of money that they're using for the litigation trust and all the attorney's fees and everything, it would have been more beneficial to just wind it down in the beginning. But of course, Mr. Alex didn't want that. And of course, everyone is like, we're going to get our money back. People are very ignorant and they don't understand how bankruptcy works and they don't understand how attorneys and legal things work. So I don't know, maybe it'll survive, but I don't know. Everybody that's on the committees and whatnot, there's so much corruption, is ridiculous. But let's talk about this. So in 2016, Bitfinex was hacked for $120,000 Bitcoin. Around that, 71, I don't forget. Anyways, this was 36% of the total user balance, and Bitfinex parent company FTX plans 150 million stock buyback to help the victims. Company offers $10 per share, giving Finex a 1.7 billion valuation. Victims can benefit from FTX's increased valuation and cash out. October 24th is a deadline for acceptance. So if you're somebody this impacts, take a look. This story is more important, and make sure you guys smash the like. That helps support me in the channel. What happened to it? What happened? Let's go ahead and refresh over here. What's going on? Aha. All right. So U.S. state regulators intervene in Coinbase's unregistered securities case. Amicus briefs filed to support the SEC argue crypto is insignificant, only used for speculation, and captured by existing investor protection rules. A bunch of a-holes. So if you guys don't know, Coinbase is fighting a external case from federal regulators who argued they operated in unregistered securities exchanges. 3 new legal filings lend to support the SEC's case, arguing it has the power to take on crypto, and it doesn't. Let's see who wrote this. Because we need to know. Do we know? All right. Mixing, if you can find, the North American Securities Administration Association regulators, mixing, find out who else it was, or was it just them? Because these people, I wonder who's bribed them to say this. I really do. Because crypto is different than stonks. It is different than traditional financial investments. Very, very different in multiple aspects. So the fact that our public servants cannot distinguish the two just tells you what is actually happening and how absolutely ridiculous these people are. But again, they love to waste taxpayers' time and money. The fact that Judge Torres ruled XRP is not a security on the secondary market should be a very important, significant thing, because you can potentially use that defense, because it is kind of like case law now, to say that other crypto assets are not securities, because the crypto exchange, they're like a third party. They're like a 10th party removed. They have either the sales or the free launch or whatever the heck they're doing. And then they list this stuff on the exchanges, and you could do whatever you want. They're not promising. There's no investment contract. So again, we have more slams to crypto, more and more and more and more. We can't catch a break here. All right. I want to check the chat, see how you guys are doing. Shout out to Caffeinated. Ooh, I'm going to go get a coffee now for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, like our pound shop, change your damn name. Thugging all around. Take somebody to Pound Town. Caroline wanted Sam to take her to Pound Town, and I'm not going to say the rest because it's not appropriate. My daughter was listening to, I forget what song it was, a Rihanna song, because they played it at the place that she goes to, because she goes to her dad. Her dad's a great Disneyland dad, with my money, which is hilarious. Anyways, he owes me a lot of money. But anyways, he takes her to these little jumper places, whatever. And she came home singing the Rihanna song, the S&M. And I'm like, you can't sing this. This is not for kids. And she's like, well, why? Why is it so bad? And I says, it's for adults. It's an adult song. So we'll listen to other stuff. Let's go listen to some Fleetwood Mac or some, I do literally listen to Sugar Free though, but the edited stuff, because we're Pomona. Anyway, so I digress. All right, let's get back into it. Shout out to Ryan. Why don't I have 169 likes? There's 200 of you in here. Come on, stop being lazy. Jeez, Louise, Mary, and Joseph. All right, smash the like, share this. Don't be lazy and ghetto. Come on. All right, so shout out to Ryan. Let's see what Ryan said up in here. Ryan said, it's unconstitutional, but unfortunately it works. The tornado cash sections could effectively become law in the coming months if Senator Warren is able to corrupt enough senators and scapegoats crypto for Joe Biden's inexplicable $6 billion support for H&I. Okay, so this is the thing. A lot of people are going to say, Wendy, where do you stand on this? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't live there, so I don't have enough information. What I will say, though, is I do not support the harm of innocents. I don't support the harm of women, and I don't support the harm of the babes. I don't in any way, shape, or form. Our children matter so much. And I'm a crazy person. I'm an absolute crazy person. I was living in the hood, and I saw the neighbors across the street. The little kids were playing outside, and one of the little boys went and hid behind the car, was crying. So I walked over there and I says, what's going on? Are you okay? He's like, yeah, my cousins are just being mean to me. I says, okay, do you need to go tell your mom and dad? He's like, no, I'm okay. I says, okay, fine. But if I hear something going on, I intervene. That's just the type of person I am. I am an absolute crazy person. Absolute crazy person. Another funny thing about me, I don't like to cuddle. I don't like hugs. I don't like to be touched. I don't like none of that stuff. So my daughter, it's like hard for her sometimes because her dad's super cuddly. I'm not. I'm just like, ugh. But I do love her and stuff like that. But I do protect kids, even if they're not my kids. So, you know, with that being said, people are going to talk and they're going to grift and all that type of stuff. I don't know enough about it because I don't live there. I just know that I'm an idiot American, and I'm grateful to be an American. All right, but let's go ahead and read a little bit deeper over here, okay? And again, we've talked about this before. We've talked about the public servants basically using a small amount of transactions. We talked about the Thor swap thing yesterday. Even though I hate Thor swap, I think the people that run it or whatever, they're horrible. They're a-holes. I like the protocol. I like the project. I think it's cool. With that being said, just because there's one bad apple that does one thing bad, why should we punish everybody else? And now I want you to think about this. The banks allowed for the transmission of money for bad things for JE. So should we shut down the banks? You won't see the outrage for that at all. You won't. Think about it. I might make a TikTok on this actually. Okay. But anyways, let's read about Tornado Cash. If you don't know what Tornado Cash is a mixing service that allows you to mix your crypto to kind of stay even more anonymous, which I support. Tornado Cash and mixers are great tools, especially for people that want to stay kind of off the radar, off the grid. Pay your crypto taxes. You can do that still using Tornado Cash and mixers, but I understand the need for privacy. All right. So recap, the Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Asset Control, OFAC, blasted listed Tornado Cash last year, alleged it was used by bad actors to launder money. DOJ says it was used to launder more than $1 billion in illicit funds. Overall usage of Tornado Cash dropped 90% following the sanctions. Between February to July of 2022, transactions worth over okay, thank you, Mixing. During the same period, 2023 volumes dropped $425 million. And that's because a lot of people don't want to use the protocols because why not? They're probably going to get shut down. Their wallet addresses are going to get tagged, all that stuff. Mixing said that Coinbase amicus briefs filed by the NASS. And hold on, let me check this really quick. Thank you, Mixing. I appreciate it. Two academic administrative lawyers, Todd Phillips, and an assistant professor of the law at Georgia State University, Bo Ballman, an attorney at the DOJ. You both are a-holes. Anybody who wrote an amicus brief to say that the SEC had enough regulations and knew exactly what they're doing and are totally fine and should be able to have the capacity to regulate crypto because it's basically the same thing, you're dumb. You're an idiot. You're a moron. You really, really are. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to my TED Talk. I'm just tired of these dumb people. We're at 168 likes. I need 169. Stop being lazy. Ooh, French toaster. Oh, goodness gracious. French toaster just said FTT, French toast token. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. When I'm done eating this, when I am done here, I'm going to go make some, damn it. I really want that waffle now. I have keto waffles, but I have to eat the chicken. I took chicken out, so I have to eat that. Anyways, let's get into the next story. Because Elizabeth Warren wants you to stay poor and stupid. Yeah, hug-free zone. I don't like the hugs. I don't like hugs. I just don't like being touched. Because I was forced to be touched for so long. And I just didn't, when I said no, people didn't listen to me. So I don't want to be touched. No, I still do cuddle and do all that stuff. I'm just more so, I build forts. Anyways, let's get into the next topic. I'm such a cuckoo person. All right. Digital Currency Traders Alliance. If you want to understand and if you want to fight back and if you want to just fight for your rights, join the Digital Currency Traders Alliance. They're on my website. Now let's talk about this. Wholesale inflation rose 0.5% in September, which is more than expected. The producer price index increased 0.5% for September against the Dow Jones estimate for a 0.3% rise. Excluding food and energy, core PPI was up 0.3% versus the forecast 4.2%. Inflation pressures came primarily from final demand goods, which surged 0.9% on the month, while services increased 0.3%. I thought the jobs report was bullish, though. Can somebody talk to me about that? Can somebody talk to me and explain to me how the jobs report was super, super bullish, but wholesale inflation rose 0.5% in September? Did these cancel each other out? Do they? In addition, the U.S. debt will become unsustainable and trigger default in about 20 years if it stays on the current path. U.S. debt rose 1.2 billion per hour for the past 19 days. We're already unsustainable. Okay, it's already bad. It's already really, really, really bad. The money printer is going to end up running out. I think it's going to happen before 20 years. Okay, what's going to happen? We're going to get that CBDC, baby, and they're going to get you, and they're going to get you good. And I just so excited, so proud of my country for this. But again. Also, too, we talked yesterday about Robert Kennedy. His siblings announced a decision to run as independent. I'm going to talk about this. I'll talk about JP Morgan and BlackRock later. We'll do the second media piece on that. That drops at 3:30 p.m. PST, so I highly recommend you check that out. Also, too, Polygon-based real estate-backed stablecoin depegs is down 48% and it offered high yield of about 20% APR on Polygon, similar to Terra UST. If you participated in this and you didn't use a moon bag and you didn't practice good risk management after everything that's happened with the crypto contagion, I'm sorry this happened to you, but you need to do better. You really, 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 really do. Also, Jim Cramer predicted that Mr. Bitcoin is about to go down big, down harder than his mom on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm glad that he thinks that. It's good. I will continue to buy more. Anyways, you guys, we're going to go, but we had 224 of you in here now, only 183 likes. Please get this up to 200 likes, at least 269 likes. We have 265 votes over here, 265 dotes. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to go because I'm tired. I need to eat and I got to work on the second content piece for you. I got spaces 1 to 3 p.m. with Hotep Jesus, sending y'all love and light. Bye-bye.